frustrating game for the #1 pick, throwing just 93 yards and finishing 14 for 29. Shay, I'll start with you. What did you think of Caleb's debut?
It was okay. I mean, he got great play. He got a block punt for a touchdown. He got a pick six for a touchdown. He wasn't outstanding, but he did something that hadn't been done by a #1 overall quarterback since David Carr did it back in 2002, and that's when his season opening debut. But there wasn't a whole lot of positive to take from that, except with the exception that he won. 14 to 29, less than 50%, less than 100 yards passing, but they won the ball game.
Absolutely.
Can I say this? Can I say this real quick? Clearly, messing around with that mayonnaise, okay? You know what I'm saying? I mean, this kid Will Levis, how do you throw a pick six like that? I mean, I don't know what the hell he was thinking. It was one of the dumbest plays I've ever seen by a quarterback, and I think he's got a lot of talent and a lot of promise. But that pick six he ended up throwing, I just found myself looking at him and like, too much mayo. I mean, that's too much damn mayo. Yeah, wasn't good for the brain.
Would you go far enough?
You're talking about Will Levis.
Will Levis. I said Will Levis.
Would you go far enough to say it's the dumbest, like, bonehead play you've seen from a quarterback before?
It's up there. It's up there. I mean, you know.
But you would say this one is the dumbest bonehead.
No.
I can't.
No, I saw a guy.
All right, let's go. I want to save time for the Steelers.
Stephen A., I saw a guy do something that was probably more bonehead than that. I ain't gonna call his name. It was in Detroit, though.
Were you sitting in your gaming chair when you saw it?
Oh, my
ran out of bounds. It's in Detroit. He ran out of bounds.
Is that what that is?
Doesn't it look like he's in a gaming chair right now?
Every time I see that chair, I'm like, is he in a video game?
I feel like he's playing a race
car. Yes, that's what it looks like. I'm panicked. Can we get you a new chair?
There y'all go.
No, seriously,
yes,
we need to get you a new chair.
Could you have ESPN do that?
Yes, ESPN. Can you please get Shannon a new chair? I mean, it's distracting.
Right.
It's distracting.
Right. The shoulders and that big head of his blocks it all. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's good. He's good.
You know what I love on the show?
Good.
You know what's the worst thing we do on the show? When we make fun of someone and then we just zoom in on them. And it's like so awkward. Shannon, I apologize for us. We're like, let's all stare at Shannon.
His head and straps take up the whole chair.
Oh my! All right, Shannon, we're gonna work on getting you a new chair. You know, you could always just go to Home Goods and pick one up. All right, it was a busy day for Steelers kicker. He doesn't know what Home Goods is. Chris Boswell, as the Steelers beat the Falcons 18-10 with 6 field goals and no touchdowns. Justin Fields got the start as Russell Wilson was ruled out with a calf injury. Fields went 17 for 23 for 156 yards. Here's Fields after his first NFL career win.
I just came in wanting a win, and I'm glad that we're leaving here with a win. So in terms of who's starting, who's not, all I want to do is win at the end of the day. So, yeah, I'm really not even going to get into all of that.
Does Justin's performance today affect Russell's status as QB1 as a starter?
And you can come ask me that question on Tuesday.
All right, S.A., should the Steelers stick with Fields in week 2?
No. I think they should go with Wilson. Fields is the future. We all know this. But I want to see what Russell Wilson does in the Steelers uniform. I know you got both of them in the offseason or what have you. I don't mind if you go back to Fields, but I want to see Russell Wilson in a Steelers uniform, and let's see what he does, especially after this kind of showing from Justin Fields. 6 field goals, I'm a Steelers fan. I wasn't happy about it. The defense, T.J. Watt, that brother, oh, my God, he is so special.
Probably the best player in the NFL.
He is so special. I was really glad to see him do his thing and to end the game the way that he did, sacking Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins was clearly off, rusty, nothing to write home about, but give the man a break after getting injured and being out and stuff like that and coming back from that. I expected him to be rusty, and the Steelers' defense took advantage of it. But Justin Fields, what do you hear?
But one sec, Stephen, let me correct one thing, though, because I said first career win. First career win with the Steelers. I want to make that clear. He's won games before.
No problem. But 17 to 23, 156 yards, no touchdowns, 2 sacks, no turnovers, nothing to really write home about. Fumbled the first snap, threw his first pass inaccurately, didn't work through his progression, seemed a bit jittery. I didn't like what I saw. I wasn't impressed. I did like him running the football. It was great to see a Steeler quarterback that could extend plays with his legs. That was nice to see. 14 carries, 57 yards. I was happy about that. But I want to see Russell Wilson. I want to see a quarterback that's experienced, that could throw with some accuracy. Let me see Freiermuth and Pickens and these boys utilized. Let's see what Russell Wilson does in a Steeler uniform before we make the decision that Justin Fields is the way to go. We know he's the future, but But I'm just talking about for this season. Let's see Russell Wilson. I just want at least one start. Let me see what he's got before we make that decision.
Oh, so you want them to go to Russ, and then if they lose or he doesn't play well, go back to Justin?
I'm saying to you that Justin Fields is clearly the future.
I don't know.
Russell Wilson here. You got Russell Wilson here. Let's see what he's got in a Steelers uniform. Let's see. That's all I'm saying.
So here's my thing with that. I don't know if Justin's the future. I don't think that is in lock in anyway. And I have a decent idea what Russ is going to be in Pittsburgh, right? I mean, I think we have 10 years of evidence and empirical data, specifically over the last 2, to tell me what Russell is going to be in Pittsburgh. I have been on the start Justin Fields train. I think that was only stamped again this weekend. So a couple things. One, never made a bad decision with the football. Managed the game, and that's a big thing because that's something we've all wanted him to take a step in, is like manage the football game, realized that the defense was playing a dominant fashion, and made really good decisions with the football consistently. Stephen A., I would say that he threw the ball really accurately, specifically down the field. I don't know if he missed a throw down the field, mainly to George Pickens. I think 3 or 4 or 4 or 4.
Pickens, yes.
Some big plays down the field to Pickens. I think the only gripe that I have is Justin's not capable right now, and maybe he'll never be, of like the quick passing game, the easy, efficient passing game. And so for them in Pittsburgh, they're going to have to figure out how they get, like this is a great throw. That ball leaves his hand from the 32. It goes all the way to 27 across the field, gets them a field goal. I get it with the 6 for 6 on the field goals. I think they stalled a little bit.
Had Justin Fields cashed in some of those red zone situations, I would have come out here with you today. You and I would have been in agreement. Justin Fields needs to start. But because he didn't, because they settled for 6 field goals, I think this situation is really set up. If Russell cannot succeed, because when Russell was in Seattle, what did they do, Dan? They played outstanding defense. Yeah. They ran the football, and then Russ did some improvisational things. Well, this defense in Pittsburgh, led by T.J. Watt, is sensational. They got good guys on the back end that can cover. You got Highsmith. So they got guys on the defensive side of the football that's going to keep them in every game. They can run the football with Warren and Najee Harris. George Pickens can make plays. Freiermuth. So they have guys around Russ that they won't become reliant on Russ. Run the football, play defense, and if Russ can't get it done here, no, I'm not saying go back to Russ, and if he loses a game, go back to Justin Fields. But I think let's give him 4 games. Let's see how we look after those 4 games, and then we'll have enough definitive proof that says, you know what, Russ is what he is. He's never going to be what he once was in Seattle, but I think they brought him in there to give him that opportunity, and I think they should. Now, we'll see how it feels. We'll see how it turns out. That calf is healed enough that he can play. Yeah. But the more Justin Fields plays and the more comfortable he gets, I think it gets harder and harder for Mike Tomlin to go to Russ.
All right, so one, I was the person who all last season was saying Russell Wilson is playing better football than people are claiming that he did, okay? I thought he played like top 12 quarterback. I don't think he's looked great this preseason in the short amount of time that I've watched him play, and because of the style of offense with Justin. Like, here's my pushback to you two. What do you think Russell's going to do better or not as bad as Justin? Like, why? Just because of his past? Is that like the experience? Is that the only thing?
I think the experience and the experience and the accuracy. And the accuracy throwing the football. I know the deep throws to Pickens were there, but there were a lot of other throws that wasn't necessarily the case. I want to see who's the better passer of the football in the Steelers uniform.
Russell Wilson's probably a better thrower of the football and a better passer, but I don't think.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't think it's that. Like, I don't think.
Well, let's find out is all I'm saying.
But hold on. Guys, this is what I normally would have said, and Shannon, I want to ask you this as someone, obviously a Hall of Famer, been in plenty of locker rooms, but normally you would have said, okay, start with Russell Wilson, right, the veteran guy, and then if things don't work out, you move to Justin Fields. The injury happens. Obviously, correct. Russell Wilson has been banged up quite a bit through free. So the opportunity changes, right, because what happened? So now we're here. Wouldn't you just ride the hot hand? Because how about the inconsistency of Justin, Russ, maybe Justin again for the entire team?
Yeah, you might be right. I think the thing what's going to happen here, Mike Tomlin's got to make a decision. He's like, okay, I've seen game footage in a Pittsburgh uniform. I've seen Justin Fields. Do I believe that Russell Wilson exponentially makes us better as a football team? And only Mike Tomlin can answer that. So that's the question that he's going to have to ask himself, because he'll evaluate, he'll look at, like, we did win. We went on the road, defense played unbelievable football. So he's going to have to ask himself, if we put, how much better would we be if I were to insert Russ into the lineup? Now, here's the problem that you're going to run into. If, let's just say for the sake of argument, Russ doesn't start this week and Justin Fields wins again, it gets harder and harder to remove Justin Fields, even though he's not putting up great numbers. He's not throwing Stephen A. for 250, 300. It's going to get harder and harder because coaches value wins over stats.
I'm just saying stay with what's working because of the circumstances of how it played out. You never normally would have done this if Russell was healthy.
I don't think 6 field goals qualifies as working.